You're listening to The Ride to Work with Pastor Fred. Fuel for your faith before you clock in. Enjoy the ride.
Hello, and thank you so very much for joining us again today for The Ride to Work. And today is Friday. You know what Friday is? It's 5 for Friday. It's our listener question episode. It's where we just take questions from you, the listeners. The questions can come through conversations, through messages. Sometimes it's a question I even ask myself at times. So these are real questions from real people that's dealing with real life. I want to say that. So we sit here and we talk about it for this little bit of moment that we have while you're on your way to work or while you're already at work, sitting at your cubicle, drinking your coffee. I mean, maybe you're driving Uber, Lyft, or your school buses. I don't think school is in right now, but truck drivers, office personnel, just all types, whatever you may be doing, whatever your occupation is, we just want to give you a little encouragement and inspiration to start your day out or to help you throughout your day whenever you choose to listen, because you can go back and listen to all of these episodes. But today is 5 for Friday. Like I said, it's listener question episode. And the questions that I received, I was through them today, over them today, and uh, some of them, if not pretty much most of them, are from previous episodes, and I kind of like that because it lets me know that people have been listening. You've been listening, and we're now getting to your questions. So I just want to go ahead, should I say, and get moving in that. So let's just talk about it. So my sister Shelley would say on her show, Conversations with Shelley, which was an awesome, awesome show, by the way. I'll be so glad when she brings that back, Conversations with Shelley. But she'd always say, let's talk about it. So I'm going to steal her phrase today, and we're going to talk about it. So the first question came via Messenger, and it says this: Hey, I've been praying for something for years, but nothing has changed. How do I know if I should keep believing or if God is telling me to let it go? I think that's a real good question to start right out with. Uh, I think so. First of all, I realize oh man, that's a difficult place to be. Um, Simply because faith and frustration sometimes they kind of in the same place. Or I like to say, they sit in the same room, so to speak. And it's moments when God is, teaching you patience. And there's moments when God is teaching you release. Listen to what I'm saying. So the challenge in that is basically learning the difference. You got to learn the difference. I'll give you an example as far as from the Bible. Abraham waited for Isaac, but though he waited for Isaac, he also had to release Ishmael. Go ahead and read that when you get a chance as far as Abraham and his lineage. Another example, the Israelites. The Israelites, they were praying for freedom. The children of Israel, they were praying for freedom, but when God delivered them, what did they have to do? They had to leave Egypt behind. See, sometimes we keep asking God to open a door that he already closed because we believe the door represents a blessing. Sometimes the closed door is the blessing. Please understand that. So I know you asked the question, but ask yourself. I mean, are you holding on because God told you to, or because you're afraid of what happens if you let go? Ask yourself that question. Because see, faith isn't just trusting God to give you something. Faith is trusting God when he asks you to release something. So let's focus on that, and hopefully, that answers your question as far as you waiting or feeling like you should let something go. I think I pretty much gave you a good, clear, concise answer because I want to be able to help. I want to be able to help, but sometimes you gotta understand. I mean, what the true blessing really is. You gotta understand what it really is. Sometimes that door closed for a reason. Sometimes, and I say it like this because sometimes God will do things that seems like it's punishment, or it's something that that that's not favorable for us. But sometimes he has to do that to save us from success. Now I know that sounds crazy. It sounds real crazy, don't it? To be have to be saved from success. But I had to learn that in my own way, because God knew that whatever was coming around that door was the other side of that door, or around that corner, or that closed window, whatever it was going to be something great. But you know what? Sometimes we're not prepared to handle that type of greatness. So God has to humble us. God has to make us wait and prepare us for success, to be able to receive the blessings that He has for us. Hope that makes sense to you. It made sense to me because I lived it. I lived it. There was so much on the other side waiting, but I had to be humbled because God knew he ain't ready for this. Because when I drop this on him, when I drop that in his lap, when I blow this up for him like that, he ain't ready for it. And sometimes God has to save us from future success until we're ready to handle it. So count that closed door as a blessing, or count that seemingly unanswered prayer as a blessing. He answered you. It just wasn't the answer that you probably wanted, but he did answer. Question number 2 says this, and this came messenger as well. Uh, can't really make it. I love God, but I keep making the same mistakes. Does that mean something is wrong with my faith? You. Okay, I had to read that because the quotation marks and stuff, and the punctuation was a little off. Let me read it again so my clear and understanding, and I guess yours as well. It says, I love God, but I keep making the same mistakes. Does that mean something is wrong with my faith? No, it means you're human. It means you're human. That's it. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it for you or dress it all up. It means you're human. I mean, a relationship with God don't mean you're not going to ever struggle. Huh? It doesn't mean that. What it does mean is that you don't have to struggle alone. That's what that means. Biblical background, I'll give you some examples for that. When Peter walked with Jesus, he saw miracles, he heard his teachings, and he still denied him. Huh? Think about it. David, I mean, King David, he worshiped God. He wrote songs, all of the Psalms, and most of the Psalms, should I say, and he still made choices that hurt people. You see, the difference between someone who grows and someone who stays stuck, it's not whether they fail, it's what they do after they fail. That's the difference. I mean, do you make excuses or do you make adjustments? I'm going to ask you that again. Do you make excuses or do you make adjustments? Clarify that. Okay, I will. Do you blame everybody else or do you allow God to transform you? Think about it. Because, see, grace gives you another chance, but growth requires you to make another choice. I hope you got that. So understand that. You keep making mistakes, and there's something wrong with my faith. No, you're human, but there's something wrong in a sense, as far as if you keep making the same mistakes as you say. At some point, you've got to ask yourself, am I really ready to stop doing this? Am I really ready to come out of whatever it is that seems a mistake to me, or a bad choice or a bad decision? Am I really ready to come out of it? Because you can pray and pray and pray and pray. And yeah, you say you love God. It doesn't mean that you don't love God. It's just there's something that you desire more, or has more of a pull on you to try and separate you from that love that you have of God. That's what that means. So just think about it. Question number 3. Man, we're moving right along, moving right along. Look, okay, this is a heavy one. How do I forgive somebody who hurt me deeply but never apologized or admitted what they did? Woo. Right. I'm gonna say this. This is like one of the hardest questions, that I had to tackle when I was looking at this, and it was just like, okay, I want to make sure I respond in the right way. It may be a sensitive, issue for this individual, and I don't know how long this individual has been carrying the fact of, holding on to someone that's not asked for forgiveness or even acknowledged a wrong that they've done against them. That's a hard question because a lot of us, a lot of people, I realize, are waiting for somebody else to pretty much, I'll say it like this, to unlock their freedom. That's what they're doing. You waiting for an apology. You waiting for the phone call. You waiting for them to finally say I was wrong. But what happens if they never do? Huh? I mean, let's think about it. See, you got to decide whether their refusal to acknowledge your pain is going to become a prison that you live in. Is that something that you're going to let hold you captive? Because their lack of acknowledgement or lack of an apology? Forgiveness don't mean you pretend it didn't happen. It don't mean that. It just doesn't. It doesn't mean you trust them in the same way. It doesn't mean that. What it means is you release yourself from carrying the weight of what they did. That's what you have to do. That's what forgiveness is all about. I understand. They never if they never said, look, I'm sorry, if they never acknowledged how wrong they did you, how jacked up they treated you, however, it still means that you have to release yourself, not let them or put it on them to release you. You got to release yourself from carrying that weight of what they did. Uh, Jesus forgave people while they were still hurting him. You remember that? While he was on the cross, he said, Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they do. And they hurling insults at him, cursing him, and everything else. So think about that. Forgiveness it's not letting somebody off the hook. It's just refusing to stay hooked to what they did. That's what that is. Release yourself. No, let that go, man. Release yourself. Don't give them that type of authority or that type of power to hold you captive to something they did. You put a smile on your face. You forgive them. You act like it never even happened. Hmm? That's what you do. And I mean, after you forgive, that's what I'm talking about. Because it happened. And I ain't saying pretend it didn't, but after you forgive, you hold your head up. You smile. Don't let that thing hold you captive to where it's always woe is me with you, and you always looking for that sympathetic ear. And no, man, no, putting yourself in prison like that. No, release yourself. Say those two words. If whoever sent this question in, release yourself. And tell yourself, I gotta release myself. I have the key to my freedom. I have the key to my happiness. I have the key. Take that key back from whoever it did and whatever they did. They hold no more power, no more captive power over you. God said, release yourself. Question number 4 says this, and this sounds familiar. I've always been the strong one for everybody else, but I'm exhausted. What do I do when I feel like I'm running out of strength? Be honest. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to be honest. Strong people get tired too. They do. They get tired of carrying everybody else, get tired of carrying weights, and burdens of everybody else. The Bible says, lay aside every weight and the sin that so easily besets you. What that tells me is that every weight is not a sin. Hmm? There's some things that you may feel that mean well, but it's wearing you down. And yeah, you're the person that everybody calls when they need help. That's you. We know that's you. Hmm. But you need help sometimes. You do. Everybody depends on you. But don't you need somewhere to lean on sometimes? Don't you need somebody to lean on every now and then? I get it. I mean, you're not tired because you have too much to do. Let me say it like that, and hopefully you get this. That's not why you're tired. That's not why you're exhausted. You're tired because you've been carrying too much by yourself. That's why. Jesus ain't never told nobody to carry everything. He said, "Come unto me. Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." So listen, let me say this. Maybe your next season isn't about doing more. It's not about doing more. Maybe it's about surrendering more. That's it. Yeah, you're the strong person. And I'm going to say this, and I hope this encourages you. Thank you. It just came to my head. I hope this encourages you. Look, you were created to be dependable because you say you're the strong one. You've always been the strong one. So you were created to be dependable. And that's wonderful. But hear me when I say you were never created to carry everything. No, not everything. Think about that. I hope that helps. Last question. Last question. Huh. How do I find myself again? Okay. How do I find myself again? So I don't know if there was another part to this question or something broke off or what, but I'm gonna assume that I guess you're talking as far as being lost with so many things that you've been through, maybe, or you're going through, and it seems so overwhelming to you to where it seems like you're losing your identity or it's overtaking your identity. So I'm just going to assume that, because I know sometimes I tell people sometimes you look in the mirror and you don't even recognize yourself anymore. It's like, who am I? Who have I become? So I'm going to answer the question based off of that assumption. And first thing I'm going to say is that you might not be lost. Really, you might be becoming somebody else new. Maybe that's what it is. Because, see, sometimes life changes us, man, so deeply that we miss who we used to be. We do. We miss the person who wasn't hurt yet. Think about that, what I just said. We miss the person who trusted easier, the person who didn't have all the scars. We miss that person who hadn't been betrayed yet. But see, scars are not always signs that you were defeated. Sometimes scars are just evidence that you survived. And I hope this is helping you. I mean, your pain may have changed you, but it doesn't have to destroy you. It doesn't. So listen, don't spend so much time mourning who you were that you fail to recognize who you're becoming. I'll just say it like that. So those were your questions today. Real questions, honest questions, questions that people, wanted to know. So I just want you to remember this. Listen, God is not intimidated by your questions. He's not afraid of your doubts. He's not surprised by your struggles. But look, what I need you to do is bring them to Him. Bring your questions to God. Sometimes, look, the answer isn't just found in what God changes around you. Sometimes, listen, and I'm done, it's found in what God changes within you. Thank you so much, and we'll be writing again next week. God bless.